It's time now for the last word, and today's Remembrance Sunday service was attended by the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition and senior members of the royal family. There was one notable absentee, however, Prince Harry. Given his devotion to the armed forces, something close to his heart, having actively served himself, does this prove the prodigal prince has paid the ultimate price? Not even able to commemorate the war dead in his own country and alongside his brother and father. To discuss this, I'm delighted to welcome fearsome royal journalist and biographer, Harry's biographer, no less, Angela Levin. Angela, lovely to have you with us.
Hello. I'm not really fearsome.
You have your moments.
I have my moments.
Harry not being there today, watching his brother and father at the Cenotaph, that's going to hurt, isn't it?
Yes, it will make him nervous and upset. But, I mean, he hadn't wanted to come here. He doesn't really want to come until his father and his brother promised to apologise to Meghan. Actually, one would imagine Meghan should apologise to them, but that's it. And they've come to a sort of end, really, somehow, because King Charles will say, the door is open, come when you want to, but Harry doesn't want to come until he gets this back. And I think that as much as he loves the military, and he was very happy, he told me that that's where he feels he is himself. He loved not all the pomp. He didn't want the pomp and the circumstance. He wasn't interested in celebrity like he is now. He wanted to work and do his very best for the country. That's what he said. That's what his aim was, to do the best he could for the country. And that's all gone out the window, I'm afraid.
Sadly so. You know the lad well. I think you were with him for a year and a half in writing your book, just under. You got to know him very well. A lot of us miss the old Harry. Do you think we'll ever get him back?
Most unlikely, really. I think he's changed. His whole being is very different. I wouldn't recognise him.
He's bitter, isn't he?
He's very bitter indeed. He was a little bitter when I met him, but he's now full of it. I think Meghan is a lot to blame, and she's poured into him all the things that are terribly wrong, and that she's made him really dislike his own family.
And perhaps his own country.
And his own country, yes. Well, Meghan didn't like the UK. She found it too small. And if you'd ever listened to her carefully, she always wanted to talk about global. She wanted her work to be global. She feels to be global. And little the UK is not grand enough for her. And she didn't like having to walk behind Catherine and be told what to do and be told what colour.
And live in a smaller house.
No, the small house is a nonsense, actually.
Really?
Because at the engagement, she arrived and stayed with Harry in his place. And at the engagement, she said, oh, no, it's so sweet, it's so calm. We love it because it's so cosy. Meanwhile, they were having a huge flat redecorated in the palace. And but she didn't sort of mention that after a while.
Do we, though, unfairly demonise Meghan Markle? I mean, I've got in trouble with John Cleese for calling her Woko Mono because she broke up the royal Beatles, in my view. But in a way, doesn't Harry own this? Isn't he the one that turned his back on his family and on his country? Why should we blame Meghan for everything? He's a grown man.
He is a grown man, and of course he could have said no, but he fell in love with her the day he saw her. He said to me, it was just at the moment he saw her, he fell in love. And then she was quite demanding on him, and he decided to follow her path. And I think that it's both of them. It takes two to behave like that. And I think they both have. She's encouraged him to be negative, just as much as she is about her own family. She's only close to her mother. She hasn't seen her father. Father hasn't seen her children. Harry's never met her father. And also his. She didn't like. I mean, it is very difficult to come from a different country to a very different way of life and learn and leave your family, leave your friends But she didn't give it any time. She was already preparing to leave just before they got married. So that she didn't have the idea of staying here. She didn't give it a chance. If she stayed here, they could have been wonderful. They could have gone to the Commonwealth and done a lot of good. But she wasn't interested in it.
Briefly, do we have evidence that she was making plans to leave before they even married?
Yes, there is evidence that she got things, and she was already engaged with Netflix on certain programmes that she wanted to do.
I want to ask you about his brother William. Has William now reached the point of no return with Harry? Is Harry beyond William's forgiveness?
Well, I don't know exactly where he feels emotionally about Harry.
Reportedly raging.
I know that they were extremely close, and he's been very much hurt by Harry's behaviour with the late Queen Elizabeth, really phoning up and being angry with her and asking money while she was very ill and near her death. And he absolutely loathes that. He also is very protective of Catherine, who's done her best to be a wonderful royal and has not put a foot wrong. And I think that with a couple who are very close to each other, you can often feel much more for the other person than you can feel for yourself. So although he's taken the nasty things that Harry has said about him, complaining that he pushed him over. I mean, it's not a great big deal between two boys, one imagines. But the rudeness about Catherine has very much wounded William, and he doesn't want any more contact with him. Quite
right, standing up for his missus, as every man should.
Yes.
Angela, I wish we had longer. Do come and see us again soon.
Okay.
And thanks for staying up so late as well. Brilliant stuff. Highlighted the show, the brilliant Angela Levin.